And we've been talking about Cuomo a lot in the podcast over the past few weeks just because of all the hot water that he's gotten with this scandal with the nursing homes and how his administration severely undercounted the number of deaths that actually happened on his watch. And so we just ran a story today that basically, let me backtrack. Last week, he had a phone call with a New York assemblyman who said that Cuomo threatened to destroy him and things like that. And then now it looks like New York State Democrats have publicly announced a censure against Cuomo, which essentially is a kind of like publicly denouncing him. And so people have been criticizing the governor of claiming that he didn't have enough time to kind of look over the COVID numbers, and all the while he has been writing a book, he's been receiving an Emmy Award, he's been making fun posters, and so it's just the hypocrisy is kind of ridiculous. And so it's interesting that now New York Democrats have announced the censure against him, and so I wanted to kind of talk about his 2022 chances for governor. So he has been in office for a long time already, and it looked like he was probably going to run for governor again. Do we think that he is still going to do that with everything that's been happening lately?
Well, I think this censure definitely means I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have the support of his own party,
Right.
it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I think it's a good question, but what you have to remember is this is New York, right?
Right.
And one, it's going to be very hard for any Republican to beat him. Two, it will matter whether the establishment is still behind him, and I think they're going to be. I think that they're going to try to move over and kind of forget about this because he is New York royalty, right? For better or for worse. His father was the governor, Mario Cuomo.
Right.
I believe he's related by marriage to the Kennedys. This guy's as establishment as it gets. Will he win is another question. I don't think so. I think that if he runs, right, the last serious challenger he had was in 2018 when Cynthia Nixon, the actress and kind of socialist, ran as a primary challenger from the left, and she tried to beat him, and she didn't come particularly close, though she got a lot of headlines. And that's gonna be it, right? No Republican is gonna be an establishment Democrat in New York State. And then the last thing you have to remember is that Bill de Blasio, who is the mayor of New York City, has been unpopular for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I believe his reelection was in 2017. He wasn't popular then. Nobody liked him. And he trounced the opposition, Nicole Maliotakis, who's now a Republican congresswoman from New York. It's just very, very hard. New York is so corrupt, I would say, and just so entrenched in establishment, all that kind of stuff, that it's really hard for someone to break through and beat one of those establishment politicians.
But do you think the establishment will get behind him? Because we are seeing, with all the New York Democrats now censoring
Who do
him
they have better? Who else is
slowly-
going to run?
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess if they don't have any other options.
I just think what you have to remember is that memories are short, right? And Democrats may be playing a longer game here. They're saying, okay, look, he's under a lot of fire now. We're going to do it. We're going to play the game. We're going to censure him, whatever. But, a year from now is a long time. And we know how the media likes to cover for Democrats. We know how Democrats themselves like to be hypocritical and move past their scandals. So I just wouldn't be surprised if he's able to get away with this.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I hope he
that
doesn't.
Right, of course. It's interesting that you bring up de Blasio because I know him and Cuomo have kind of been head to head with each other, especially over the events with everything that happened with COVID and how Cuomo was handling the pandemic versus how de Blasio wanted to and things like that. Do you think that there are a certain percentage of people that are going to want to take de Blasio's side over Cuomo's if it comes to that?
No. De Blasio is very unpopular. I don't think I can emphasize enough how much people don't like him. Even he got reelected because people, they vote for a guy they don't like. That's just kind of the way it is. But no one likes de Blasio. Even Democrats don't really like him. Republicans certainly can't stand him.
Right.
He's just he's just not very well liked. I think Cuomo, even though he's his popularity is fading, is still, I think, a bit more liked than de Blasio, who's just kind of a cartoon villain of awfulness.
I will say, although this scandal has certainly been hurting Cuomo. It's been more of the cover up that's hurt him than the actual, mishandling of nursing
Right.
homes. We've had lots of other Democrats mishandle nursing home, situations as well, sending sick people back in nursing homes. Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan did the exact same
Whitmer?
thing.
Gretchen Witch.
Yeah, Whitmer.
Wasn't sure if that was on purpose or not.
It actually wasn't,
That was good.
but
Good
I think
wordplay.
it worked out pretty well.
It did.
But she's not seeing any consequences for this, and I don't think
Yeah.
he would have, absent of this sort of cover-up scandal.
Right.
So just to speak more to what Joe was saying, yeah, there's a chance this could all fade away when we get 2 years down.
Do I?